Hello and welcome back to Skye Thinking. Day 4 started well enough until we ran into that rude girl, but yeah, let's see what else Skye has in store for us. When the fun of taking selfies wears thin and my stomach begins to rumble, Piper suggests that we should go and find our parents. We meet them at the front of Armadale's exterior, and Hilda leads us to our proposed picnicking spot. It's located beneath a tall oak tree, which faces the front of the old castle. Hilda sets the wicker hamper upon the ground, then extricates a tartan blanket from within its depths. It's a thick woolen blanket patterned with crisscrossing bars of red and green and white. I can't help but wonder if that's real tartan. We are in Scotland after all. No, I don't think Skye has much of a monopoly on the tartan market. In which part of Scotland was tartan first created anyway? I'm not sure. I bet Ian would know, he seems to know everything, but I don't want to ask. I'm afraid one innocent question would launch into a lengthy hour-long diatribe, during which the food would get cold. Wouldn't it be cold anyway at being a picnic? Okay. Well, since we're having a picnic, the food's probably cold already. There we go. Speaking of which, the picnic food Hilda procures from the hamper looks good. It's fairly standard: tuna sandwiches packed in Tupperware boxes, little sausage rolls, and a pot of potato salad. But most of it looks homemade. I can't see any Tesco or Sainsbury packages anywhere, or even any Waitrose. A high-class woman like Hilda seems the sort who'd prefer Waitrose over the rest of the shabby supermarkets frequented by the peasantry. But I'm not sure they even have a Waitrose in Skye. If they do, it'll probably be in Portree. That's something else I'm sure Ian would know the answer to, but I don't want to give him the satisfaction. Alright, everybody. Hilda gestures to the food, which is all arrayed neatly on the blanket. The food's all laid out now. I hope there's enough for everybody.
This should be more than enough. Thank you, Hilda.
It's no trouble at all, I assure you. I didn't know what you all liked, so I made a few different things. The sandwiches are all made on wholemeal bread. Of course. Piper leans next to me, her voice dropping to a whisper. Mom doesn't believe in white bread. She thinks it's sinful. And there's 3 different kinds. These are tuna and red onion. Ew. And these are cheddar cheese and pickle. And these are egg and cress. These sausage rolls were all made by hand, and so was this potato salad. It has some chopped onion in it and black pepper. I made some little cheese and onion pasties too, if anybody wants any of those. There's Scotch eggs as well, though these weren't made at home. I bought them at the co-op. The co-op, is it? Not even Marks and Spencer? I wouldn't have expected that from Hilda. I guess they don't have any of those upper middle class fancy supermarkets here. There's crisps too, sea salt and balsamic vinegar, and I made a lovely lemon raspberry poppy seed cake. That sounds nice. Then to drink.
Oh, come off it, Hilda. Stop fussing now. There's a good girl. I'm sure your food will be great. It always is. Now, let's just hurry up and eat, for goodness sake.
Hilda huffs, but she does it in quite a dignified way. If it wasn't for the slight crease on her brow, I don't think I'd have realized. I was only telling the Carters their options, dear. I don't want anybody eating anything they're allergic to.
Yeah, that's very considerate actually, mentioning ingredients. Thanks for being so thoughtful, Hilda, but we're not allergic to anything, at least not as far as I'm aware. I can't wait to get tucked in. This bread looks lovely.
I'm glad you think so. Please, feel free to start.
Don't mind if I do.
Ian chuckles heartily and stuffs the cheese and onion pastry into his mouth. It disappears into his mighty maw in mere moments, and he swallows it in a single bite. A few spots of pastry flecks his chin and cheeks, and Hilda tuts. Please, dear, mind your manners. We're among guests.
Michael's not just a guest, he's our friend. I doubt he's judging our table manners, Hilda. And remember, we're not even sitting at a table.
I'm aware of that, dear. I'm aware of that, dear, but that doesn't mean we should act like savages.
Sorry, Hild, but I can't help myself. Your food's criminally good, that's what it is.
A chuckling Ian takes one of Hilda's tuna sandwiches. A few pieces of tuna fall out of the bread and onto the tartan rug, and Hilda's brow knits together in evident distaste. Dear, please, use a plate at least. Hilda takes a paper plate from the hamper and rests it on her husband's knees. Ian, being Ian, ignores it and stuffs the sandwich into his mouth with increased gusto. Well, I never... Hilda shakes her head. I'm sorry about this, Michael. My husband's always like this when it comes to my food. We can't get enough. Now I'm not sure if Hilda's trying to boast or apologize. Maybe it's a bit of column A and a bit of column B? Dad takes all this in his stride as per usual and returns Hilda's anxious look with a smile.
I can't say I blame him. I'm raring to dig in myself. This potato salad really does look good.
Then please, try as much as you like. I insist. Dad takes a paper plate from the picnic hamper and begins to fill it with food. Piper goes next, eager as she always is when food's on the agenda. Hands fly hither and thither as Piper and Ian hurry to claim the tastiest morsels for themselves. Piper reaches for a handful of crisps the same time her dad does, and the packet crinkles, spewing crisps across the blanket. Oh, for goodness sake, be careful, you two. You're not a child anymore, Piper. And you shouldn't be encouraging her, Ian. Right. Piper draws her hand back, suitably shamefaced. Sorry, Mom.
Yes, that's right.
Ian bows his head and a look of mock contrition upon his face.
Sorry, Mom.
Honestly, you should be more considerate. Alice hasn't even had anything herself yet. You've both been hogging all the food. Oh no, you're right. Piper glances at my own plate. It's completely empty, unlike hers. Piper must be a master when it comes to speedily snatching snacks. She's managed to pillage 4 triangular sandwiches, 3 sausage rolls, 2 cheese and onion pastries, a scoop of fluffy potato salad, a handful of crisps, and a hefty slide of cake in approximately 5 seconds. She has so much food, it reminds me of the very hungry caterpillar from the famous children's book. I'm a little impressed, but I'm also unnerved. Can she really eat all that? Well, I guess she is a growing girl. I'm sorry, Ellie. I didn't think. I was too busy trying to grab everything before Dad could.
Hey, you little minx, don't make out like this is my fault.
It is partially your fault. She must have learned her appalling manners from somebody, and it certainly wasn't me.
Oh, Hilda, you ruined me.
Ian recoils. The column of stacked sandwiches on his plate, it's like an eggy, crusty Tower of Babel, quivers.
Didn't you vow to stand by me through thick and thin?
Your waist will get thick if you keep piling food onto your plate. Eat what you have before you reach for more. Now, is there anything you want, Alice dear? Those vultures have made short work on the sandwiches, but there's a few egg and cress ones left, and a few tunas. You can have one of my cheddar cheese too if you want, or maybe a bite of Mom's cake. I prefer chocolate, but lemon and raspberry is good too. I eye the slice of lemon and raspberry cake on Piper's plate. As far as homemade sponge cakes go, it does look pretty inviting. It definitely looks better than Dad's attempts in the kitchen. I guess Hilda has her uses after all. She's more than just a convincing pantomime horse. She's also a decent chef. Maybe it's unusual to start with cake, but could I try a bite? Go right ahead. I'll let you have mine as an apology for being such a greedy guts. Here you go. Oh no, the music stopped. Okay, I thought she'd drop it on her dress. Piper picks up a fork and spears the piece of cake with it. Then she hands it out to me. Say I eye the fork dubiously. Do you really want to feed me? Sure. I mean, why not? Isn't that what friends do? I think Piper's idea of friendship is a little twisted. But she looks so earnest I can't bring myself to refuse. I don't need her help, and I'm concerned that she'll drop crumbs on my skirt. Piper isn't the most coordinated of people, but... Okay, you can feed me if it'll make you happy. I don't mind. Yay! Now come on, Ellie, open up. I open my mouth obediently and let Piper place the fork full of cake. The soft, fluffy flavor spreads across my tongue and... This isn't half bad. It is a little stodgy, which is maybe to be expected from sponge, but the raspberry sauce on top helps a lot. The lemon flavor, meanwhile, is just enough to cut through the sweetness of the sponge. It's tart, but it isn't overwhelming. It's a lot better than it looks, given it's a little sunken. So, what do you think? Piper smiles at me, her eyes glittering. It's good, isn't it? My mom might be a nag, but she's great in the kitchen. Piper, if you absolutely have to insult me, don't do it when I'm sitting here. I can hear you. Oh, nuts. Sorry, dearest mother. I didn't mean to offend you. I hope you can forgive me. I'd be more inclined to accept your apology if you didn't have a stupid smile on your face. Don't be obsequious, and don't harass Alice when she's trying to eat. She can feed herself. I wasn't harassing her though. I was trying to help. Besides, you sometimes feed Dad bites of food at the dinner table. Don't think I haven't seen you.
What?
Hilda's fair complexion colors. Then she scowls. That's different. Your father and I are married. You and Alice are just friends. Now leave her be. You're distracting her. You need to stop being so touchy-feely. It just makes people uncomfortable. Can you lay off? They're kids, basically. Quite harsh. I would have thought that you'd have learned that by now. To be honest, I think Hilda's complaints are more distracting than Piper's attempts at friendliness. Why does Hilda seem so worked up? She's always scolding Piper, often about her manners, but I can't work out what's gotten her so on edge today. I have a hunch. I don't get it. Piper seems to, however, because the tips of her ears turn pink. She dips her head, then mumbles. Sure, Mom. Sorry. Piper perks up shortly after being scolded, but she doesn't try to offer me more morsels of food. I wonder why. Why indeed? We spend the afternoon following Hilda's itinerary to the T. After our trip to Armadale Castle, we go to the nearby pier in Isle Onsey and examine the various craft shops and art galleries strewn along it. Ian and my dad go fishing on the pier while Hilda watches them. Piper and I, meanwhile, take a look around the scenic village. We eat dinner at a fish and chip place. I've since gotten over my fear of fish bones, and the 5 of us return to Ardvassar a little after 7. It doesn't seem like Piper wants to spend the night with her parents, however. Half an hour after we say our goodbyes, I hear a knock on the door. Dad goes to answer it, and he's greeted by my cheery new friend.
Piper, it's good to see you again. And so soon too. Come inside.
Dad ushers Piper into the living room, where I was already sitting, idly watching something or other on the old-fashioned TV. I'm amazed it even works. I turn the show off when Piper comes in and shoot her a curious glance. She looks windswept. Did she run here? And a few loose strands of hair are escaping from the back of her ginger ponytail. Her face is flushed, and in one hand she's holding a carrier bag. What's she got in there anyway? It seems like it has some heft to it. I hope it's not Candle McKinnon's head. Whew. Hey there, Ellie. Long time no see, huh?
Then again, if it was a head, at least you couldn't complain about a boring vacation here, huh?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hi there. Did you want to go on another walk like... What? Did you want... I think there's a mistake here. Did you want to go on another walk like yesterday? Wait. Did you want to ask... I'm sorry. It's like I'm not quite awake yet. That's Alice. Did you want to ask to go on another walk like yesterday? I did think about it, but, well... Piper deposits the carrier bag on the floor and smiles sheepishly. We've been to a lot of nice places today. I'm not sure if the scrubby old shoreline can compete. She can say that again. After the scenic gardens in Armadale, Ardvassar's pathetic excuse for a beach would feel like a letdown. Rather than going out, I was wondering if I can stay in here. I know Ardvassar like the back of my hand, but I've never been in this house before. It's fun to look around other people's homes. It makes me feel kinda like I'm in an RPG. Does that mean you didn't come here to see me then? Oh, no, I never said that, Ellie. Seeing you was the main reason I came here, of course it was. It's just...
Your curiosity got the better of you?
Well, yeah. I've seen this house heaps of times before, but I never thought I'd actually get to go inside it. It's a lot smaller on the inside than it looks on the out. And that TV is pretty dated. Who still has a VCR player in this day and age?
I mean, I still have one, not that it works all that well. I take it you don't?
Nope. It's like so 90s. I've never even used one.
Okay, child. Me neither. I remain on the sofa, arms folded, as Piper peers about the living room. She looks intrigued, though I'm not sure why. I don't think this house is all that interesting, and it's not like there's much to explore. There's only 5 rooms. I can hardly give Piper a guided tour of the bathroom, which is about 5 square feet across, the toilet and sink and old-fashioned bathtub all crammed in together. What is she hoping to find here anyway? Buried treasure? Maybe she likes slugs? Do you know the people who own this place?
What? Oh, yeah.
Piper moves away from the VCR, which she was poking experimentally like an undetonated bomb, and settles down beside me on the sofa.
This place belongs to Mr. and Mrs. Kirkland. They were a nice old couple. I used to see Mrs. Kirkland on the shore, walking her dog. Sometimes she gave me toffees. She was very complimentary about my hair.
That makes sense. I should have known that Piper would be acquainted with the owners of this cottage. Skye's so small, and Arthasar's a microcosm of something even smaller. I wouldn't be surprised if everybody knows everybody's names in this place, and their dates of birth, blood types, and star signs to boot. I can't imagine living somewhere so closely knit and devoid of privacy. I think I'd go mad.
Same.
Is that why Piper's always so jittery? I thought it was just nervous energy, but... You said they were a nice old couple? They haven't died or anything, have they? My Pokebox bedroom is creepy enough as it is, without the knowledge that its former inhabitant, a dear old lady with toffees in her pocket, might have bitten the bullet. I mean, most houses probably had someone die in it, but let's be real. I don't want to share my room with a ghost. Piper's reply, therefore, comes as something of a relief.
What? Did it sound like that? No, they're not dead. Or at least I don't think they are. The Kirklands moved to Inverness, I think, a couple of years back. They rent this house out to holiday makers now.
And is there much interest? I suppose there must be, given the discarded pair of pajamas at the back of my wardrobe. They didn't materialize here out of the ether.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. Tourism's one of Skye's biggest industries. People like coming out here, backpackers mostly, to scale the mountains. Families too. There was a family in here about a week before you came.
Ah, I see. So they must be the culprits behind the stained pajamas. Those jerks.
I'm glad you're here now though, Ellie. I like you more and I like the other tourists.
Of course. Okay, but leaving those pajamas is one thing, of course, that's kind of an oversight. But before the next guest comes, someone should properly clean this whole house, and they should have discovered that and gotten rid of the pajamas. So That's their fault. Is that because I'm letting you look around this place?
Well, that, and you're my friend. Speaking of which...
Piper returns to the sofa and retrieves the plastic bag. She reaches into its depths, then pulls something out of it. It's not Kendall McKinnon's hat after all, but then again, I never really thought it would be. That's the kind of grisly twist that only happens in horror stories. Piper might be a little off, but I don't think she's a serial killer. But the object she's holding fills me with as much fear as a disembodied head would. It's a box of Scrabble.
Since we're friends, I was wondering if you want to play a game? I'm pretty good at Scrabble actually, but Mom and Dad never want to play with me. Will you keep me company, Ellie? Please? Pretty please?
Oh no. I was afraid of this. I loathe word games, and I particularly loathe Scrabble. I've never won at it even once. I'm not even bad at English. I study English Lit in 6th form, for goodness sake. But when I get put on the spot, I start to panic. I forget how to spell the simplest of words and I end up making a clown of myself. I'd rather listen to one of Ian's long, boring lectures than play a game of Scrabble. Okay. Piper's expression is so winsome, however, I can't bring myself to say no to her. This is just like the picnic all over again. I'm completely at her mercy. If only I knew how to turn her down. Poor baby.
Yay! It looks like I win again. This is pretty fun, isn't it, Ellie?
It's fun for you, maybe. I scowl at the Scrabble board, my arms folded. Since there's no table in the living room, not even a coffee table, we had to take our match into the kitchen. I'm sitting in one of the uncomfortable wooden chairs facing Piper. She has a victorious grin on her face that's so bright I can hardly bear to look at it. We've played about 4 matches and I've lost every single one. This last game was a bit closer, but Piper still took the lead in the end. If only I'd had an extra Z, then I could have spelled out quizzed. That would have given me a big advantage in the late game. But, barren of Z's, I had to settle with a much less impressive quiz, which meant I missed out on that coveted triple letter score space. I was so close to victory. It's just not fair. Are you good at English, Piper? That would soothe some of my aching pride at least. There's less shame in losing to a prodigy. Could Piper, despite her almost perpetually bubbly persona, be a secret genius? To my disappointment, however.
Oh, no. I mean, I guess I'm okay at it. It was one of my better subjects, but I only got a B in my English Lit GCSE. Okay. My mom wasn't very happy about that.
Oh, right. A B, I see. I slumped down in my chair, defeated. I know it's unfair to judge people based on their grades. I'd feel mortified if anybody discredited my intellect based on my D in French, but this isn't filling me with confidence. No, it's as you say, grades don't necessarily mean anything. Sometimes it's just heavily dependent on your teacher and the way... I don't want to go into all these details, but like people study differently, learn differently, and if you're not given the tools to apply that to schoolwork and the way that you can work with it, that can mess up your grades, that alone, and then, again, teachers themselves, the way they grade. Oh well. I got an A in my English Lit GCSE. An A. Logic dictates that I should have come out on top during our battle, but I can't believe I've lost every single round.
It's alright, Ellie. We can't all be good at everything. Besides, it's just a game.
I guess. I sigh. Losing so many times in a row stings, but it is silly to get worked up over something this petty. I'll only be on Skye a few more days. It'd be a shame if I soured the latter half of my trip with a stupid argument about Scrabble of all things.
Now, this is just a wild shot in the dark, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you probably don't want to play again.
Not really.
That's fine. I figured as much. Thanks for going along with this all the same, though. It was nice playing against somebody other than my dad. And you don't cheat, unlike him.
Piper picks the pieces off the board and I help her. We stash them back in their plastic bag, which we then deposit into their cardboard box. With the game put away, Piper leans back in her chair and glances around the kitchen.
It was nice looking around this place too. It's pretty cozy in here.
Cozy. I raise an eyebrow. I'm not so sure about that. It's tiny, the floorboards are all warped, and there isn't even a dishwasher. It's draughty and it's cold and it takes ages for the hot water to come on. And it's filled with slugs.
Slugs?
I tell Piper about my late night encounter with the gastropod kind, and Piper squeals in disgusted delight.
Oh no, that sounds gross.
It was gross. I stepped on it and I wasn't wearing any socks and I could feel it. It was all soft and kind of mushy. It made me scream and I woke my dad up. He had to come into the kitchen and calm me down.
Poor Ellie, that must have been horrid. There.
Piper reaches across the table. She pats my back in an attempt to appear sympathetic. But I must have recounted my tale with a bit too much gusto, because her concerned mask soon cracks. Her shoulders begin to quake, and before I know it, she bursts into peals of laughter. Hey! I push Piper's comforting hand off me and glower at her.
You shouldn't laugh. I was legitimately terrified.
I've had 3 baths since then and my foot still doesn't feel clean.
I know, I'm being bad. I'm sorry, Ellie, but just imagining you in a flouncy nightgown sidestepping slugs is too funny.
Funny for you, maybe. I sit there, stony-faced, doing my best impression of Hilda until Piper's giggles finally subside. It takes longer than I imagined. Every time she manages to smooth the creases out of her face, her mask slips and she starts cracking up all over again. This girl really is hopeless. Are you quite done?
Oh, yes, I'm done. I'm fine.
Piper winds her arms about her middle. She looks winded, like she's just completed a marathon.
Sorry, Ellie. I feel out of breath now.
Really? What a pity.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. I was only messing around. Turn that frown around.
I don't really feel like smiling.
You're a tough customer. Then what about this?
Piper gets to her feet. She stashes the Scrabble box back into its carrier bag, then offers me one of her brightest smiles.
We did something I like, so why don't we do something you like now?
Like what?
Well, maybe it's a silly idea, but would you mind letting me take a look at all your clothes? You wear so many beautiful dresses. I'd love to see them all. If it's not too much trouble, of course.
What? Oh. I look at Piper curiously, my face feeling a little flushed. Again? Why does this keep happening? I hadn't expected her to show an interest in my clothes, much less my whole wardrobe. I thought she was just humoring me when she asked me about my outfits, but maybe not. Was she actually interested after all? The thought is more than a little flattering. It's nice to know that somebody cares about my life-defining hobby. Somebody who isn't my dad, I mean. Maybe Piper's worried she's overstepping some sort of boundary. Already she's trying to backtrack, her face flushed as she says, "But only if you wanna, I don't want you to feel like I'm forcing you." But I'm quick to reassure her. I smile. Then, feeling lighter than a jellyfish, I say, "It's fine. I don't mind showing you my clothes. In fact, I think that sounds like fun."
You do?
Yeah, I mean, it should be more fun than Scrabble at least.
Wow, these dresses are gorgeous.
You really think that?
Of course, I've never seen anything like this before. Look at all these ribbons and lace, and the patterns too. They're incredible.
Piper rifles through the wardrobe, her expression wonders. I was able to overcome my disgust at the pair of bean-encrusted pajamas, albeit reluctantly, and my clothes are all hanging up in the wardrobe now. I brought 3 JSKs, one of which I'm wearing, 1 black dress, and 3 different blouses. I have a much larger, more eclectic collection of clothes at home, with assorted pairs of shoes and bags and hat pieces, but I made sure to pack all my old favorites on this trip to Skye. I didn't bring any of my knockoffs or off-brand pieces with me. These clothes are all the genuine real deal from brands like Baby, Alice and the Pirates, Juliette et Justine, and Metamorphose. Most of these dresses were second-hand, bought through EGL or Yahoo Japan, and they're not completely perfect. The Juliette et Justine piece I'm wearing now has a stain, and one of the ribbons on my Metamorphose JSK is falling off. I've sewn it back on by hand a couple of times, but it doesn't want to stay put. These flaws are pretty minor, however. When observed from a distance, you can hardly notice them. I doubt a newbie to Lolita fashion like Piper will be able to pick up on them. She isn't examining my clothes with a critical air. She looks utterly enamored with them, which fills me with a degree of pride. This is the reaction I'd like my clothes to get from people. Otherwise, what's the point? Do you have a favorite dress?
It's hard to pick. They're all so nice. I think the one you're wearing now looks especially nice, though.
I like this dress a lot too.
Is this your favorite, Ellie?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I have a favorite. I've been collecting dresses for a few years. I was able to buy a few of my dream dresses, but I still have a lot more pieces on my wish list. I have some dresses I like more than others, but I don't want to rank them. It'd be like a parent ranking their own children. It's just wrong.
Like children? You care about these dresses that much, huh?
Yeah, I guess I do. It might sound corny, but these clothes represent my dreams. Looking at them makes me happy like nothing else. I can try on outfits in front of my mirror for hours without getting bored, and I love mixing and matching accessories. I don't have as many items as other Lolitas might, but these dresses are all imbued with worth, whether I saved up to buy them or whether I received them as gifts. They're the accumulation of many years of hard work. I love every single one of these dresses, and I love how they make me look. I don't even feel like myself when I'm not wearing Lolita. These clothes are my identity, I guess. Wearing them makes me feel special, but it's not like I put them on to show off. I don't want to be the center of attention, I want to be happy with who I am, and these dresses help with that. That's why I brought so many of them with me. I didn't want to be parted from them. Do you think that's stupid?
I don't think it's stupid at all.
Materialistic, then?
Maybe a little. But we all have things that make us happy. My mom has her designer bags and belts, though most of them are fakes, and my dad has her stupid sunglasses. And the golden watch. Oh yes, the watch. I almost forgot about that. It was a present for his 40th birthday. Mom bought it for him. It's Versace, I think, and it was really expensive. Dad never takes it off. It's like it's super glued to his wrist. I don't have any clothes like that. I've never really cared what I look like. I have my old books though, and my fairy ornaments, and this old thing.
Piper draws back the sleeve of her oversized hoodie to reveal the colored length of cord wound about her wrist. I spied this once before, and it filled me with curiosity. I wondered where she'd got it from, and now it's starting to look like I'll get an answer.
Aria made this for me, back when we were in year 7. It's a little beaten up now, and it's a bit too small, but I wear it almost every day.
Aria? I've heard about her before, earlier today, as a matter of fact. Didn't Kendall talk about her? Is she your friend?
She was my friend.
Piper toys with her bracelet. Her fingers pick at the loose cord, and she frowns.
She was my best friend. She was the only person who ever seemed to want to hang out with me, but things change.
Did you fall out with her? I guess you could say that, yeah.
I still wear that nutty old bracelet though. She made it for me, so it'd seem rude not to. For a while, it was one of my most treasured possessions. It used to make me happy, but I'm not so sure now. I've thought about letting go of it, but I don't know if I can. That'd feel like a betrayal. I don't want to turn my back on my friend, even if she turned her back on me.
Piper falls silent for a few moments, her expression thoughtful. At least until she catches sight of my curious gaze. Our eyes meet, and her face turns pink, and she laughs awkwardly.
Sorry to get all gloomy there. I'm not usually the self-pitying, I promise. Enough about me. We were looking at your dresses. They're much, much more interesting than my stupid old bracelet.
Piper looks at my dress wonderingly.
You have lots of nice clothes, but that dress really is lovely.
Thanks. Admittedly, I'm still curious about Piper and Arya's tumultuous history, but I don't know if Piper wants to talk about that right now. Sorry. If she did, she wouldn't have changed the subject so quickly. Maybe it's better off if I don't know. Whatever the reason behind her falling out with Arya, it's doubtful I'd be able to offer much help. I've been on Skye for a grand total of 4 days, and I don't even know who Arya is. I've never met her before. If I saw her in a crowd, I'd never be able to pick her out. This is Piper's problem, not mine. Right now, all I can do is help her take her mind off things. She seems to like my Juliette et Justine JSK a lot, the stain notwithstanding, so... Hey, Piper, do you want to try this dress on?
Can I? You really don't mind?
I wouldn't offer if I minded.
What? But you just said these dresses were like your children. I wouldn't want to get it dirty.
I'm sure you won't. We'll just be hanging out here. We won't be going hiking. Not that that's discouraged me. I never thought I'd go tramping about the countryside in Lolita from head to toe. I might be obsessive about my fashion sense, but not even I thought I was that obsessive until I came to Skye. I might not have damaged any of my pieces, thank goodness, but I have leathered 2 pairs of tights and my 100-pound pair of rocking horseshoes. My brain today, but I have leathered 2 pairs of tights, and my 100-pound pair of rocking horseshoes are damp and muddy after my attempts to scale the island where Dunscape Castle lies. Maybe I should have listened to my dad and left my more expensive bits and pieces at home. But it's too late to worry about that now. Why don't you try it on? It'd make a nice change from those boring t-shirts and that grungy hoodie.
Hey, I like my hoodie.
Which is fine, but it feels like a waste. You're pretty, Piper. I think you'd look nice if you dressed up a bit.
I don't really care about how I look. Besides, there's not much point.
Piper looks at me, her expression a strange mix of shy and sulky.
I doubt I'd look as pretty as you.
Well, I glance away. I'm not sure why, but my face is starting to feel hot. It's not like this is a competition. I'm not going to judge you.
You just said the way I dressed was a waste.
Okay, I won't judge you much. I played all those stupid games of Scrabble with you, so now you have to do something I want. Won't you let me dress you up? I want to see how you'd look. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I like the thought of sharing my wardrobe with somebody else. None of my friends back in Croydon are interested in Lolita. They think my outfits are weird, and I guess I can't blame them. It is kind of weird, dressing so ornately on a day-to-day basis. it's not the norm, but that doesn't make it weird. I mean, it's whatever. Are those really your friends? Like, I have a ton of friends that don't really care about Lolita, but they don't think it's weird. Then again, I'm really only friends with people who are also into cosplay and stuff, so I don't know. None of them would ever let me give them a makeover, and I don't think I'd want to either. It's no fun forcing your passions on other people. And I have to have a bit of interest already. I don't want this to be one-sided. I wouldn't offer if Piper hadn't expressed an interest in my clothes herself. But she did. She said my outfits were beautiful. If she likes them so much, then I'd like to show her that she can look beautiful in them too. Well, I don't think frilly clothes like this would suit me, but if you're sure, then I guess I wouldn't mind trying it on. Just don't be too disappointed, okay? I won't be disappointed. I'm just happy that you agreed to go along with this. Thank you, Piper. I want her to understand how much I love these clothes. And more than that, I want the two of us to have fun together. I mightn't have known Piper as long as Arya, but I'm still her friend. Isn't that what friends do? Exactly. I feel like other colors would have maybe suited her better, but then again, it's a smart move on Alice's part to bring clothes that aren't too colorful when they might get muddy. And I mean, she also mentioned she's a classic Lolita, so there will be more muted colors. I mean, it's cute either way. So, what do you think? It's cute, isn't it? I think I did a good job, if I do say so myself. Now, if I was a character from an anime, which I'm not, this would be the point where I'd go, oh ho 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 ho. I'm not a character from an anime, however, no matter how I dress, so I don't do that. I do feel pretty proud of myself, however, as I size up my victim. Volunteer. Piper and I are standing in the ugly avocado bathroom, since this is the only room in the whole house which has a mirror. I have to wonder if the owners of this home, didn't Piper call them the Kirklands, have an aversion to reflective glass. Maybe they're vampires? Then again, it's more likely that the older you get, the less you want to preen over your own reflection. I guess there's not much point when you reach a certain age. Playing I Spy with grey hairs doesn't sound like much fun. I'm having a lot of fun right now though, examining Piper while she examines herself. Wow. Piper turns this way and that, her face and her shoulders framed in the, sadly, too small mirror above the sink. Is this really me? That's right, it's you. Wow. Piper repeats her soft exclamation of awe once more. Her fingers reach up for her face instinctively, perhaps to pinch her cheeks, but I swat her hands away. Don't do that, you'll smear your foundation. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to wearing makeup, so I didn't think. Still, it's hard to believe this is actually me. I look almost like a different person. You make me look almost pretty. You are pretty. I already said as much. Honestly. I harumph, my arms folded like a seamstress might while dealing with a difficult client. For such a happy-go-lucky person, you're unusually down on yourself.
Sorry about that. Guess you can blame my mother there. Oh, and Candle too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you're only ever beaten down. Yeah.
I wonder what she'd say if she could see me now.
Who? Candle?
No, not her. I know what she'd say. She'd call me a loser. I was talking about my mom. She says I dress and act like a boy. She's always nagging me to be more ladylike. Would this be enough to make her happy?
Piper does a neat twirl before the bathroom mirror. A bell-shaped skirt, supported by a black petticoat, swirls about her legs. Unfortunately, the bathroom mirror is so small, Piper can't see her new look in its entirety. She can see a freshly made-up face though, and her styled hair, which is the most important thing. You could just try and take a photo on your phone and show her like that, but okay. I let her wear an old pair of my tights, but my shoes wouldn't fit her. It's a bit of a pity. I think some heels would really set off this outfit, but it looks nice enough as it is. I think she looks nice at least, but Piper seems to have a few doubts.
I don't know if I look much like a lady or even a princess. But I do feel kind of pretty. Kind of like a woodland spirit or maybe a fairy. You even made my hair look almost nice.
Piper fingers her ginger hair, an abashed smile playing about her lips.
I usually tie it back in a ponytail. It's easier that way. I hardly ever wear it down. It's weird. I still can't believe this is really me. I didn't know this was possible.
Piper's hair has finally been freed of its messy, constricting ponytail. It tumbles about her shoulders in bright, warm waves. It's surprisingly glossy, for how little Piper takes care of it, and it's very thick.
Yeah, some people are just blessed.
I didn't do much with her hair. I brushed it out until it crackled, then tied a few strands back and secured them with a plain black bow. That's about the extent of my handiwork. I spent a bit more time on Piper's face. I powdered foundation on her skin, which was admittedly pretty clear already, then applied light blush and a shiny lip tint. Why would you actually have foundation that's so light? Like Alice herself is pretty dark.
Okay.
Oh well. I wanted to line her eyes, but Piper kept blinking, so I had to give up on that idea. I did extend her lashes with mascara, though. I don't think Piper looks particularly different beneath a light layer of makeup. But I've always thought that she's pretty. She just needs more self-confidence.
These clothes are so nice.
Piper sighs wistfully as she runs her fingers over her, well, my dress.
But I don't know if I could wear this every day. It's not really practical.
You're right about that. They're not practical. But people aren't practical creatures. Not all the time. Sometimes we need to do things that make us happy, even if they seem silly to other people. We can't let others dictate our lives. That's when we start to doubt ourselves. Then we get discouraged and depressed.
Is that why you keep dressing like this?
These frilly dresses are kind of like my armor, I guess. When I'm wearing Lolita, it feels like nothing can hurt me. Maybe it's like magic?
Magic, huh? I wish I could say I felt the same way. I do like these clothes, but I don't know if they're for me. It was nice dressing up, but the girl in the mirror doesn't look like me. It's not who I want to be. Then again,
Piper presses her fingers against the glass. She stares intently at her reflection, her brow furrowed. I don't know if I'll ever be who I want to be. Not if I stay in Skye. This island's far too small. It's stifling. If I'm ever going to be happy with myself, then sooner or later, I'll have to escape. Yeah, seems like it, doesn't it? The fourth day, overcome the... Wait, maybe this isn't so bad? I think about Piper's words for the rest of the night, long after she changes back into her normal clothes and heads back home. Okay, that was the end of day 4. I think I'm going to stop it here for now. Okay, some very normal friend activity there. Great. With only a bit of nagging from Lillian at the start. Like, it's really no wonder that that Piper's confidence would be so low if her own mom and then people at school are putting her down like that. Not great. Not great at all. Yeah. But yeah, our two girls are getting closer again, opening up more on both sides. So yeah, that was a decent 4th day, I suppose. Yeah, but that's it from me for today. As always, let me know in the comments down below if you have any thoughts and comments. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.